3D printed organs, a futuristic concept that once sounded straight out of a science fiction novel, are now on the brink of becoming reality. But is this medical marvel truly as promising as it seems? Or is there a darker truth we're not being told? Some insiders claim these organs might not even be the breakthrough they're hyped up to be. Rumors are swirling that major players in the biotech industry are pushing 3D printed organs onto the market, not for the sake of humanity, but to capitalize on the billions it could generate. Imagine if these life-saving organs aren't as safe as they're advertised. Would patients unknowingly become part of an uncontrolled experiment? In this video, we'll dive into the hype, the controversy, and the groundbreaking technology behind 3D printed organs. 1. The promise of 3D printed organs. Imagine a world where patients no longer have to wait endlessly on transplant lists, where organs can be tailored to their needs, built from their own cells. 3D printing in medicine is an emerging field, transforming what was once only possible in science fiction into a tangible future. Many experts argue this could end the organ shortage crisis, potentially saving millions of lives worldwide. Yet some critics are questioning the integrity and motivation of companies driving this innovation. Dr. Ellen Grant, a bioengineer and prominent voice in the field, has stated, "The science is groundbreaking, but let's not forget that innovation without regulation can lead to exploitation." 2. How 3D printed organs work. To create a 3D printed organ, researchers harvest cells from a patient, then print them layer by layer, forming complex structures. Imagine a high-tech printer filled with living cells instead of ink. These cells form scaffolds that mimic real tissue, taking days or even weeks to grow into fully functional organs. A lead researcher at a top university, Dr. Lisa Hernandez, shared in an interview, "We're now able to build functioning heart valves, kidney cells, even parts of a liver." She then hinted, however, that rushing this process could lead to unforeseen complications. Is this technology being accelerated too quickly? Or are we on the verge of a true medical miracle? 3. The debate: profit over people? With the potential of billions of dollars to be made, some critics allege that companies are prioritizing profits over people. Several big names in the biotech industry are vying to be the first to launch their 3D printed organs commercially, which has raised ethical concerns. Alex Roberts, a whistleblower from a leading biotech company, claims, "Executives are pushing to get products to market, even if they're not fully tested. They see dollar signs, not patients." This type of insider information has stirred public outrage, leading to accusations that the technology might not be as reliable as advertised. 4. Are 3D printed organs truly safe for human use? One of the biggest questions is whether these organs are ready for human transplants. Testing in animals has shown promise, but human trials are still relatively new. This lack of comprehensive human testing has raised eyebrows, especially after reports surfaced that certain biotech firms might be manipulating data to fast-track approval. Renowned cardiologist Dr. Timothy White remarked, "If these organs fail, it's not just a malfunction. It could mean loss of life." Are we ready to gamble on a technology that's barely out of the experimental stage? 5. The race to create the first fully functional, transplant-ready 3D printed organ is intense. Companies around the globe are pouring billions into this research. Some experts in the field argue that optimistic timelines are unrealistic and warn against potential risks. Dr. Michael Larson, in responding to the CEO of a biotech company, stated, "There's no way they'll have a fully functioning heart that quickly unless they're cutting serious corners." So, is this just a race for prestige, or are lives genuinely on the line? 6. Who gets access to printed organs? If this technology becomes available, who will actually have access to it? Some argue that 3D printed organs could be reserved for the wealthy, turning this life-saving innovation into an exclusive privilege for those who can afford it. In one interview, Dr. Natasha Lee, an ethicist, expressed her concern, saying, "We're looking at a scenario where the rich live longer simply because they can buy their way to a new liver or heart. The ethical issues here are profound. Should life be something we can buy? And what does this mean for those who can't afford such treatments?" 7. Potential consequences of rushing 3D printing in medicine. Rushing this technology could lead to severe unintended consequences. Experts warn that 3D printed organs are far more complex than simpler implants like artificial joints or even heart valves. Dr. David Kim, a transplant surgeon, cautioned, "A poorly constructed liver or kidney could lead to toxic buildup in the body, potentially fatal for the patient." He went on to share a rumor that one early test subject experienced extreme complications after a rushed 3D printed kidney transplant. This unconfirmed story alone has generated considerable fear and doubt within the medical community. 8. Interviews with families who've tried experimental procedures. Several families have already tried experimental procedures involving 3D printed organs. The Johnson family, who opted for a trial using a 3D printed kidney for their son, spoke candidly about their experience. "It's a blessing, but it's also terrifying," said Sarah Johnson, the boy's mother. "We knew there were risks, but no one warned us just how uncertain the process would be." Their story has become a lightning rod for controversy, with critics arguing that patients and their families are being used as guinea pigs for an unproven technology. 9. The role of governments and regulatory bodies. Government and regulatory bodies are now facing immense pressure to ensure this technology is safe before it becomes widely available. Some insiders argue that regulatory bodies are actually lagging, unprepared to handle the unique challenges of 3D printed organs. Dr. Philip Rogers, an FDA official, reportedly commented off the record, "We're only scratching the surface of the ethical and safety issues here." The FDA and similar agencies worldwide must walk a fine line between encouraging innovation and protecting public health. But can they keep up with such rapid advancements? 10. Can we truly replace human organs? There's still much we don't know about the functionality of 3D printed organs. Can a printed heart truly pump blood as efficiently as a real one? Will a liver process toxins effectively, or will there be complications? Biologist and researcher Dr. Karen Hayes admitted, "The human body is infinitely complex, and replicating that complexity in a lab setting is daunting. Even if we succeed in creating these organs, they may not function exactly like the real thing." As researchers push boundaries, doubts linger about whether science can ever fully replicate the complexity of a human organ. The final word on 3D printed organs? The future of 3D printed organs is as promising as it is controversial. Are we on the cusp of a new era in medicine? Or is this technology too experimental to trust? With rumors of corporate profit motives, rushed trials, and ethical concerns, 3D printed organs sit at the intersection of hope and risk. One thing's for sure. This is a medical journey that everyone will be watching closely. What do you think? Would you trust a 3D printed organ with your life? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more in-depth, thought-provoking videos like this one. Together, let's keep exploring the bold future of medicine.